Good morning everybody, welcome back to Cilinix Crypto, or welcome to this channel if you're new, and I hope you're all having a great start of the weekend. In this video we'll talk about Sui again. It was definitely time for another update. Yesterday, or Thursday actually already, we've been able to complete the breakout, or at least in my eyes this is the breakout. We broke above the previous value area high right here at 3.7, and in general, I mean, if you zoom out this level, especially at 3.8 right here, I mean, you can see it's a bit of an ambiguous key level where sometimes 3.6 functioned more as the most important key level. Sometimes it's 3.8 and sometimes it's 4.1, and we'll talk about that because that level we have not been able to break above. But still, it looks quite good for Sui here, and that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to do a full update. So let's get right into it. Now, first of all, one of the main things that I always like to talk about when we're talking about networks, layer 1 blockchains, is network activity. And in this case, the network activity on Sui has been great. I mean, if you take a look at the DEX trading volumes, they're not at all-time highs, but they've sustainably in the last, like 3 weeks, they've been incredibly high. If you, for example, I'm not sure if any of you are interested in that, but if you, for example, hold status, in terms of price, could have done better. It's actually down over the last 24 hours, and that's also, by the way, a capital rotation I would keep my eyes on. The Sui ecosystem, well, I mean, you can see it here on the top right. The Sui ecosystem right now is one of the worst performing categories and worst performing narratives, so we might see some sort of a shift back into that a little bit later, but still, I mean, status is if you stake that, you would have seen that the revenue and the APY that you got on that significantly increased, and that's obviously a great sign of the fundamentals. So fundamentally, Sui still looks great. Technically, we've had a high volume breakout above a significant key level. The one thing that I'm a little bit worried about is that, you know, down the line, obviously in the crypto markets we're going to see a pullback. We always do. We have a bit of an imbalance here to the downside. As you can see on the daily time frame, it goes all the way down to 3.5. So short term, if you're a bit of a conservative trader, the way I would see Sui is like this, right? So 3.8 is the main support level in the lower time frames. 4.1 is the main resistance level. If you really want more certainty, wait for 4.1 to break, right? Because if we break above that on the higher time frames, then you have some more certainty that this entire block of different intraday resistance zones has been broken with quite a lot of volume. So then you can assume that we're going into our next target here at 4.5 and potentially towards $5, even though Sui doesn't really respect the psychological level. So I would say 4.8 is a better target. Now, ultimately, I think, given the volume, like, yes, certainly on the short term, we could have some moves down, right? So that's definitely a possibility. Today, we also have some news with China and the US talking. We could see some news-based volatility, but I think ultimately, when you take a look at others, for example, the main altcoin index, in combination with how Sui is looking structurally itself, with the volume, I would say this is a real breakout, right? And that we can expect some more bullish momentum. Sure, maybe a pullback and some consolidation up here is necessary first, but ultimately I do expect that continuation to the upside. I think everything is pointing towards that direction. Does that mean that it's 100% going to happen? Obviously not, all right? Things can change, news can happen, news can be bearish. So be aware of that. I would definitely not go all in, but I would never do that. But ultimately, the most likely direction for Sui in my eyes seems to be up, with the main levels right now being 3.65. I'd say we need to hold that as support to still stay bullish technically. 4.1 as more confirmation to the upside, and 4.5 as being the first price target. And that's what I think you need to know. So if you do have any questions, let me know down in the comments. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care. Have a great weekend, of course, and bye.